Welcome back to another episode of the Travis and Travis Show. He's head coach Travis Mays. I'm Travis Chambly. Thank you for taking the time to join us as we talk about what was a very successful first season under head coach Travis Mays. Coach, just tell us a little bit about that first year.
The first year, I can almost describe it in maybe 2 or 3 words. First, I would say it was fun. The reason it was fun because, number one, I was excited about the opportunity to coach the ladies, and they was excited to have a new coach in and try to learn the philosophy, but we had fun in practice, and I think it translated to the games.
And those games, your season opener on November 11th, first win as a head coach in your first time on the floor, 64-56 over Texas State. Tell us the emotions you were feeling as that game went on and then as the final horn sounded.
Well, there was a lot of emotions. I would say first and foremost, I definitely wanted to win the game, not only for myself, but I wanted to win it for the young ladies. Being under a new coach, I know there was some pressure for them to go out and do the things I had been seeing consistently in practice. I just wanted them to get some results. And you got to understand, Texas State was a team that did not want to give us a win. They fought extremely hard, but our young ladies were resilient. We was able to get that win.
Over 2,600 fans in attendance. Over 1,000 of those were local elementary school students. Talk about just the atmosphere on elementary day with that season opener.
It was electrifying. I mean, for our young ladies to come out for it to be their first game, the kids were screaming, they was yelling SMU. It was great, and it's something that we want to continue for years to come.
And it is going to be a continued partnership, SMU with the Dallas Independent School District. Elementary Day again on November 10th when SMU starts the 2017-18 season right here in Moody Coliseum. Another big win for you and the Mustangs as this season rolled on. Number 19, Texas A&M came in here, and SMU beat them 54-53, holding on for the first win against a ranked opponent since 2008. What was that like?
It was absolutely great. I mean, we talked about getting to the next level, getting to the other side all year long from the beginning of practice. And when we were able to meet Texas A&M, knowing they were ranked as high as they were ranked, I think we were ready to play. And I think it gave us confidence that here in the near future, we would be a team that would be able to compete against anyone in the country. So it was an exciting win for us.
And it kind of set the tone for some home success. I know at the beginning of the season, you and the players made winning at home a team goal. You went 13-3 in Moody Coliseum. That's tied for second in home wins in a season for SMU. Talk about winning at home, why that was important, and the way you were able to do that.
Well, I think winning at home, you have to establish that you can protect home court. If you ever want to make a run for a conference championship, or you ever want to establish that you're going to be a good team, well, it goes all the way back. In my opinion, you have to get the hometown support. And if they come to a game and you're not giving maximum effort, why should they come back? I think that's the beginning of changing the culture. You get people coming to your games, they get excited, and if they leave with the win, I think they'll come back. So that's what we're striving for.
And not only success at home, success against other Texas schools. 8-1 against teams from the Lone Star State, including a 7-0 record against those Texas teams here in Moody Coliseum. Again, success on the home court.
Absolutely, Travis. You got to understand, you just mentioned the Texas schools. You do want to protect home court, but at the same time, you want to get in the race of recruiting here in the state of Texas. So when you play against Texas schools, if you have a good showing, now I think you get kids turning their eyes, their ears to SMU, and hopefully those wins against the Texas schools will give us some success in recruiting.
Well, it's important in a big state like Texas that is as competitive as we are by nature to do well against Texas schools. And we always say if we're best in the American Athletic Conference, then obviously we'll be best in the country with UConn in our conference. But overall, I think to be the best in Texas, to be right at the top of the best in Texas is important to our recruiting because there are so many good student athletes in the state of Texas. You don't have to go very far to find outstanding student athletes. And so if you are at the top of the heap in the state of Texas, you're going to attract outstanding student athletes who are also good students by the name student athlete, and maintain that kind of dominance that we like to have in the state.
Some program records fell during your first year at the helm. 1,409 rebounds as a team, 187 blocks. Set the block record for the third straight year. 4 players with at least 30 blocks. Alicia Froling gets 51. She continues to climb the career chart. Deja Thomas, a sophomore, comes in and gives you 40 blocks. Stephanie Collins, always a block machine, the tall Australian with 36. And Clara Bradshaw, in her first year as a Mustang, gets 33. Rebounds and blocks are a statistical evidence of good defense.
Yes, there's no doubt. The defense is huge. But what you see when you describe rebounding and you describe block shots, now we're talking about effort. We're talking about energy. We're talking about body language, being extremely active. And that's something that we talked about at the beginning of the year about maxing out, not giving up on plays, pursuing the rebound.
Well, even more exciting than that, the Mustangs ranked 12th in the country in field goal percentage defense, holding opponents to 35.2% shooting. That's 22 spots higher than last season with essentially the same team.
Well, I'll tell you what that is. That was, number one, the staff's focus and our philosophy to be stingy. We didn't want to give up baskets. We wanted to be connected on the defensive end. And I think once we got some early success in the season, I think the team was able to buy in to the defensive end of the floor, and it's essential for success.
I think Coach Travis May's first year here was an enormous success. One of the things that we really needed to do, I thought, was to be able to play a much more aggressive defense. And because so many student athletes, when they come to college, really don't play very well at the defensive end. And for us to come up 12th in the nation in team defense, I thought was tremendous.
Well, that's a lot of the defensive end of the floor. Improvements also on the offensive side. 5 players increased their shooting percentage from last season, and 2 increased their shooting percentage from outside the arc. The team shooting percentage went up 14 points from 36.3 to 37.7. And three-point percentage went up from 24.3 to 27.4. How did y'all make that happen?
Well, Travis, I would first say we played as a team. I think percentages goes up when you start by shooting high percentage shots. We tried not to force shots. We tried to move the ball. We tried to set screens for one another. And I think that allows players to know who's going to shoot the ball and when, and everybody's in a position where they're comfortable. And I think if we continue to play as a team, I think those percentages will continue, hopefully will continue to go up.
Let's talk about some of the individuals that led to that team success. Alicia Froling, all-conference second-team selection, a program-high 17 double-doubles this season, and was the only player in the American Athletic Conference to average a double-double with 14 points and 10 rebounds per game.
That's huge. I mean, when you got a kid, it just tells you. But Alicia, all year long, and I've said it all year long, she came to work in practice. She came prepared, she committed, and when the statistics show that at the end of the season, I think she has led by example, and I think what she did was contagious, and it got our team to play a lot harder.
Coach May's really helped my game a lot. I've been working on my shooting with him, and then I think my defense improved this year, and just he really wants me to work on my leadership ability, and then he also really talks about the details. So he wants us to get better at the little things because that's what makes a good player great. So he's really good at coaching those things.
Well, the statistics certainly did show the payoff of her effort. Improvements in scoring, shooting percentage, rebounds, and blocks from last season. Another player that got better under your tutelage, Stephanie Collins, improved her shooting percentage to 52%, nearly 5 points higher than last year, and one of 2 players on the team shooting above 50%.
Well, Steph went through some setbacks early in the year with a few injuries. When she came out, she was committed. She was hungry to get out there and develop. First, we had to get her strong. Once we got her strong, we worked on changing her shot. So for her to go through a complete shot transformation and to continue to have her confidence, Steph was very, very important for us because she brought energy every single day, and I'm extremely proud of how she played.
Mackenzie Adams was a player that led the Mustangs in scoring a year ago. Came into this season, that scoring dropped off a little bit early as she had to work harder on the defensive end of the floor. You told her that she was going to have to guard. And as the year went on, we saw her offense come back, 32 points against Cincinnati, a career high, and overall improvements in shooting percentage as well as steals on the defensive end of the floor?
Mackenzie was as solid as anyone on the team. Of course, we just talked about Alicia, but Mackenzie did everything that the staff asked her to do. We got her to increase her rebounding. I don't know if the statistics shows that, but her defense was like a 360. She just turned around and committed to playing defense, and I think early on her offense suffered because of that. But then I think at the end of the year she was able to balance out the two and become probably our best position defender on the team as well as our second leading scorer.
As the season progressed, I think I improved a lot defensively. Coach Travis came in and told me if I didn't learn to play defense, I would be on the bench. So that was a big focus of mine. But I also think that adjusting to the new style of play, I improved at that. Early on in the season, my offense was really shaky. And I think as it progressed, I got more comfortable playing under Coach Travis. So I think I improved in that area.
And you lose this player, senior point guard Morgan Bolton. Improvements from behind the three-point line, shot 23.7% last year, went up to 34.1% this year. She made at least 4 three-pointers 4 times, including 6 on senior night. Talk not only about her this season, but that night and how special it was to watch her.
Oh, if you talk about the night, that night was extremely special. I think she even surprised herself the way she shot the basketball. But even bigger than that, Morgan was as solid as she could have possibly been all season long at the point guard position. She shared that position with Cammie, of course, but for the most part, she gave her entire team confidence throughout practice, throughout every game that we played. So it's not only the three-point shooting percentage, which is fantastic, but I just think she was a floor general for us.
Improvements in scoring average and assist. As a point guard, you're the distributor first and a scorer second, but what does it say about a point guard that's able to make improvements in both of those categories?
Well, it says she's committed to the team philosophy, and I think that was something that was kind of lacking at the beginning of the year. I think most kids was looking for me to be happy if they put the ball in the basket. But I think once we started to buy into the offense and find the high percentage or the open player, I think that's when Morgan started to understand that she can get some assists and she can be one half of those 2 points.
And all those players combined to take the program back to the postseason. SMU advancing to the Women's National Invitation Tournament. Multiple postseason wins for the first time since 1993.
Trust me, we were extremely proud to be able to play in the postseason. It was one of our team goals from the beginning. We had our goals set to win as many games as we could possibly win by taking care of our business, whether it was home court or winning as many games as we could on the road, and then let the chips fall where they may. We got an opportunity, and we were super excited to play in the WNIT. And once we got there, we wasn't satisfied with just being there. We wanted to win some games, and we were fortunate to win 2. And unfortunately, we lost to a very good Indiana team on their home court.
But to get those 2 wins, you had to start with a very storied program in Louisiana Tech, coming into Moody Coliseum, a multiple-time national champion, a team that SMU has never beaten. What did it take and how did it feel to knock off a program like the Lady Texters?
Well, I know we had never beaten that team in program's history. I made it a point not to share that with our ladies because I didn't want that effect. I'm sure Alicia and some of them may have known, but very, very tough win. They came in, they played extremely hard, but our kids were resilient. Our kids was refusing to lose that night, and we were able to advance. So we were super excited to beat Louisiana Tech.
And then an Abilene Christian team, I think, surprised a lot of people with its first win in the postseason as a program at Oklahoma State.
Well, I'm going to tell you what happened there. We actually scrimmaged against Oklahoma State. We all knew they were a team that was from the Big 12, had some success, been an NCAA tournament team consistently in the past years. And when Abilene Christian beat them, it got our attention. So when we came to play Abilene Christian, we jumped out on them because we knew and felt that we were going to be in for a dogfight. And we played extremely well in the first half. And unfortunately, we let up in the second half, and they started shooting the ball extremely hard. So we had to fight for our dear lives to get out of that one.
I knew we had such a strong core group of girls, and I knew we could go far. I just didn't know how far we could, and the way we'll push this season, being able to do postseason was just amazing, and I didn't really expect that. Coach Mays really set our expectations in summer workouts. We knew that he was going to demand a high level from us, and then in practice every single day he would say, you know, we're going to be successful, we're going to win games. So I think he instilled in us the belief that we were going to be a successful team this year.
Well, I wish we're so busy over here, I don't get to go to practices. Every now and then I'll pop my head in and sneak in, and so I don't know their whole journey, but I do know that it was a tremendous accomplishment this year for him to take over in the first year and get into the NIT. And the times that I was able to watch a little bit, I could tell that, how intense and how hard they all worked. I'm guessing that the girls on the team would say that, they really took it to another level. So that's my perception on the outside, but definitely it was an outstanding accomplishment the first year.
Finished 19-15 overall, a winning record. You have to be proud of that.
I'm super proud. I mean, it's one thing to get young ladies to work extremely hard, max out, give you everything that they have. If they don't see some type of results at the end of that, they may not believe in the hard work. We were able to get some success, so hopefully it makes them want to work even more, and I'm seeing that now with the practices that we have, and so hopefully in the future we can continue.
So let's go back a little over a year, right here in this exact spot. Yes. You were announced as the next head coach of the SMU women's basketball program, replacing a coach that had been here for 25 seasons.
Yeah.
You said at that time you want to be here for 25 seasons.
That's right.
After the first one, talk about not only your thoughts at that announcement, but did you meet expectations? Did your team meet expectations?
Let me first say, it's only one season, so I have 24 more seasons to go, Travis. I was super excited that day to finally get an opportunity to someone believe and give me the keys to run their program. So at that point, I remember mentioning to the young ladies that we were going to have fun. We was going to max out, we were going to play hard, and when you asked the question, did we meet our expectations, I would say yes, simply because I wanted them to give me their best, and I think they gave me their best. So the expectation was met there. I thought we had fun. Having success at the end of that, that's the cherry on top of it. But I would say the young ladies maxing out, us getting some success, and having fun, first and foremost, that to me is priceless. So my expectation was definitely met.
We're excited about the future of women's basketball under head coach Travis Mays and the staff he's assembled. In his first year, winning 19 games, advancing to the third round of the WNIT. The extra practices we got together, the travel time, I think will really benefit our program moving forward. Travis is a very disciplined coach. He knows what he's talking about, and you could see the improvement on the court as the season progressed. And certainly I think another great quality about Travis that gives us hope for the future is that as a first-time head coach, he's looking at how he can get better as well. And so I expect that he'll continue to evolve as the years go along, as well as we position our program for championships in the American Athletic Conference and advance in the NCAA postseason tournament.
After this first season, what is possible going forward? What does the future of the SMU women's basketball program look like?
Well, the future is we want to continue to build off what we started this year. We want to go out and recruit. Hopefully we have the attention of the state of Texas and the nation that SMU women's basketball is here. We're going to be here to stay. We're going to recruit the nation, and we're going to compete against every team in the country and be able to compete at the highest level. That's what I want everybody to know, and I'm excited for what the future holds.
Well, first of all, my connections with Travis go back to my days of recruiting down in Florida and coming into his high school down there. And I remember going in and seeing his jersey retired and obviously following his career and seeing what he's done as a player. And then to watch him as a coach and really get to know him as a person and his family. Travis is, man, he's my guy. I love his energy. I love his excitement, his enthusiasm as you watch him coach his girls. He's got such a demeanor. He's such a, you know, he knows the times to turn it on and to really bear down on them. And then he knows the time to let up a little bit and to let them figure it out on their own. And so, you know, watching him on his run this year and seeing him in the NIT and being able to watch one of the games over here, one of the home games, and just to be able to see him battle and watch his girls and how they play for him is really, it's inspiring. Well, I think Coach Mays is, I think the sky's the limit. I think he's got a great vision for what he wants. He's obviously been around some great programs and been around some incredible coaches. But I think if you talk to Travis and talk to him, I think if you asked him who truly, where was a pivotal turning point in his career, he would probably tell you a coach had an impact in his life, and I know that because he and I have talked about this, and how it's just changed the way he thinks and the way he does things, and you know, he's an inspiration to me. He and his family and his staff, to our coaching staff, because of what he's done and how he's building it. There's a lot of similarities that we go through, and it's a truly a chop wood, carry water theme that he and I talk about. And just the day-to-day process to just stay in the course. And if you do that, you're going to continue to be successful. And I think you saw just a snapshot of his success this past year. And I think the sky's the limit.
Thank you again for joining us for this episode of the Travis and Travis Show. Again, he's head coach Travis Mays. I'm Travis Chambly. We'll see you right here next season. Again, the opener on November 10th. Pony up.
Pony up.